kind of stories tell us in a fun way that when we meet up with something scary, we need to use our brains, okay? And that's what the old woman does in the story. So we're going to start out and like this. All right, good job. Now, once upon a time, there was an old woman. And one day, she got a letter from her daughter who lived in a village far away. And the letter said, "Mama, we have had a wonderful harvest. We have so much food in our garden, we're going to have a feast, a big meal for a whole week." Okay. So the old woman thought, "Ooh, that sounds really good." So she put on her coat, she got out her walking stick, and she closed up her house, and she began to walk. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked till she came into the forest. It was dark and kind of scary in the forest. And the old woman was a little bit afraid, but she didn't show it. She kept on walking. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked till she ran into a jackal. "I'm gonna eat you up." The old woman was scared, but she didn't show it. Instead, she said, "Oh, why would you want to eat me up now when I'm so skinny? Wait until I come back from the feast, and I'll be nice and fat." And the jackal said, "All right." And so he let the old woman go. And she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked till she ran into a tiger. The tiger jumped out. "Old woman, don't I have a beautiful coat? Look at these stripes. Have you ever seen anything like these stripes? Oh, and by the way, I'm going to eat you up." The old woman was scared, but she didn't show it. Instead, she said, "Oh, why would you want to eat me up now when I'm so skinny? Wait until I come back from the feast when I'll be nice and fat." And the tiger said, "Well, for somebody as beautiful as I am, that would be better. All right, go on." And so he let her go, and the old woman walked on. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked till she ran into a bear. "Oh, old woman, I have been sleeping for 6 months, and I am really hungry. I'm going to eat you up." The old woman was scared, but did she show it? No. Instead, she said, "Why would you want to eat me up now when I'm so skinny? Wait till I come back from the feast, when I'll be nice and fat." And the bear said, "Oh, well, okay. I'm going to go sleep for a little while longer." And he went back into his cave, and the old woman walked on. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked till she walked right out of the forest. Yeah! And she came to her daughter's house, and man, did they have a spread. There was food every night, tables and tables of food for a whole week. And the old woman ate and ate and ate and ate. She had such a good time. But then it was time for her to go back home. And suddenly she remembered about the bear and the tiger and the jackal. She told her daughter. Her daughter was a little scared, but she didn't show it either. She learned from her mama. So she said, Mama, come here. And they went into the garden. There was one great big pumpkin that they had not picked. I mean, it was huge. It was enormous. And the daughter said, Mama, I'm going to get a knife, cut off the top, scrape out the insides. We're going to put you into this pumpkin and roll you right back home. So that's what they did. Before she put the top on, she gave her daughter a kiss goodbye. Her daughter put the top on, and then they went to the edge of the forest, and she gave that great big pumpkin a great big push. Ooh. And it began to roll. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled till it rolled right by the bear. The bear came lumbering out of his cave. Whoa, that pumpkin smells funny. I'm going to follow it. And so the bear began to follow the rolling pumpkin, but it kept on rolling. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled till it rolled right by the tiger. The tiger said, oh, that pumpkin almost disturbed my beautiful striped fur. And it smells funny. I'm going to follow it. So now the bear and the tiger were following that big red pumpkin, but it kept on rolling. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled till it rolled right by the jackal. That pumpkin smells funny. And so now the bear and the tiger and the jackal were following the pumpkin, and it kept on rolling. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled. It rolled and it rolled and it rolled and it rolled until it ran into a rock, and it burst in two. And there was the old woman, and there were the three animals looking at her. Old woman, we're going to eat you up. The old woman was scared, but did she show it? No! Instead, she said, oh, well, now I know I promised you that you could eat me up when I came back from the feast, but, look, you can't all eat me up at the same time. One of you needs to go first. I think it should be the strongest animal. The jackal said, clearly that is me. And the tiger said, ha! It is not you, it is me. Not only am I the strongest, I'm the best looking too. And the bear said, oh, I'm the hungriest because I've been sleeping. And then the tiger jumped on the bear, and the bear jumped on the jackal, and the jackal jumped back, and they jumped, and they jumped, and they jumped, and they began to roll. They rolled and they rolled and they rolled and they rolled. They rolled and they rolled and they rolled and they rolled. They rolled and they rolled and they rolled and they rolled. And boys and girls, for all I know, they are rolling still. And the old woman never saw them again, and she kept on walking. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. She walked and she walked and she walked and she walked. Till she got back home, and from then on, she lived happily ever